Assalamualaikum. Today I would like to discuss about our interview questions for question 3 and question 10. First of all, in question 3, we will ask about there must be some traditional food there, right? Could you tell me about it? The first possible answer, I think respondents are likely to respond by listing traditional food in their hometown. Or maybe the second possible answer is respondent will tell us only one of the most popular traditional food in their hometown. The next question is, in question 10, if someone wanted to explore your traditional food, which dish would you choose and why? I think for this question, the first possible answer is maybe respondents answer he or she will choose one of the best types of traditional food, especially in their hometown, and the respondent will be tell us about why they choose this traditional food. I mean, they will tell us about the unique of this food. Or maybe the second possible answer is respondents' answer will be tell us more than one of the best types of traditional food that he or she recommend and tell us why they choose. I mean, where they recommends the types of traditional foods, maybe about the unique of this food, or maybe that food is nowhere. I mean, the traditional food is only available in their hometown. Since we are choosing a title about Let's Eat, I think this question is very relevant to the topic we have choose, especially when we ask question about traditional food. That's why I choose these questions, because we will be able to find out more about their traditional foods.
I would like to discuss about two questions that I choose. First question is, wow, it's so interesting. Among these food traditional you've mentioned, which do you like the most and why do you like it so much? Possible answer for this question is, among the traditional food that I've mentioned, I most like nasi lemak. It is because nasi lemak simply tastes good. The combination of rice cooked with milk and sambal really enhances the rest of topping in the mouth. And the combination of all ingredients together in the mouth is exquisite. Maybe respondent also will be answer, I most like nasi lemak because the food is basic but very nice. The taste of sambal is sweet and spicy, rather mild, and it have good aroma of sambal will stay in your mouth for a while. Okay, why I choose this question? It is because traditional food is too much, so I want to know what kind of food uh interest that person and why she or he choose it. The second question is, do you know how to make the traditional food? If you don't mind, could you tell me about the recipe or the ingredient used? Possible answer for this question is, yes, of course. I can make it. I've learned how to do it with my mom. Nasi lemak usually consists of a scoop of rice cooked with coconut milk or in Malay santan and topped with topping such as boiled egg, cooked peanut, small fish, chicken curry, fried fish, fried chicken, and nasi lemak has to be served with sambal or Malaysian cooked chili sauce. Okay. Second possible answer is I'm sorry to this. I don't think I know because I never to try make it. But as far as I know, the food is must have sambal, a scoop of rice, and small fish. I think so. Okay. In my opinion, I choose this question because I want to find out if Y and Z generation nowadays can cook. In my opinion, I choose these questions because I want to find out if Y and Z generations nowadays can cook and know about the ingredients to make their food, traditional foods that they often eat or didn't know.
Question number 1. What is the process to produce the traditional food? It is easier. Answer number 1. Process to produce the traditional food, which is nasi lemak, it's not easy at all. You need to learn and practice always to make nasi lemak become easy. And in my opinion, to make nasi lemak, it's not hard at all. I'm always saying my late grandmother made nasi lemak. You just need to put the right ingredient and it will become delicious. Answer number 2. The process to make this traditional food, which is nasi lemak, you need to follow the right step to make sure you can make the nasi lemak become delicious and you can get the similar taste like our young lady do it before. Question number 7. Can I know if there are other race or ethnic which share similarity or almost traditional food you mentioned before? Answer number 1. As I know, there are no race or ethnic who share similarity for the traditional food, which is nasi lemak. It is because nasi lemak is the most traditional food among the Malay ethnic, and no one from the other ethnic can fight or have similarity for that nasi lemak. Answer number 2. I guess a few of race or ethnic who share similarity for the nasi lemak, but not almost can fight lemak from ethnic Malay because them can get the similar taste like our Malay ethnic. As in a conclusion, I choose the 2 questions related to my topic. It is because I want to know how the traditional food process, and second one it is because I just want to know how the process to make the food, or if the traditional food have similarity with other ethnic or else. Thank you.
Okay, then I see. Is there any taboo to eat the food? If yes, can you tell me what is it? So maybe the respondent will say that for me, yes, they have taboo for them. They have taboo to eat their food. So in their ethnic, such as squeeze the coconut milk, a girl or woman in our house who is period is strictly prohibited to squeeze the coconut milk in their food before serving or cooking. This is because their ancestors forbid them, so they afraid the food that packed using coconut milk will be sting and stale by woman who is period. So for the answer number 2, maybe the respondent will not be agree about that. So let's see. Maybe the respondent will say in their ethnics there is no taboo to eat the food because they believe that nowadays become more modern and there is no more taboo before eat and serving the meals. I mean the traditional foods. So they believe that their ancestors forbid them just to discipline them. So they're pretty sure that there is no taboo to eat the food. So we move to question number 9. Question number 9 sounds like this. I would like to ask you if you know it. When is the traditional food first produced? Or other questions, since when you know about the traditional foods? So do you think this food always edible? Is it beneficial for us to eat? So maybe the respondent will say that they know it since them 7 years old, 8 years old. So maybe their parents exposed them to the traditional foods at that time, because that food maybe the staple food from them for the ethnics. So and maybe the respondent agree that their food is edible and beneficial to eat. So because maybe it forms about the maybe the food will have it was very nutritious or and maybe good for the health. So maybe for answer number 2, maybe the respondent will say that they didn't know when they know about their traditional foods. So maybe their parents didn't expose them about that traditional food, and but they eat the food, they eat the traditional foods, I mean. So whatever I mean, they know about the traditional foods, but they didn't know when did they know about it. So maybe about some people, some respondents didn't know about the traditional food. So they always Google about it, about its nutritious, or about its benefits to people before eat it. So for my opinion in our group discussions, so why did I choose these 2 questions? Because in our teams, let's eat, these 2 questions is very important and are closely related to each other, especially in traditional food. So in ancient time, taboo is the famous thing that our ancestors talking about, especially about food. So there is so many taboo that we need to obey. So we move to question number 9, asking what about when respondent know about traditional foods. Or also this is these questions is also important because from we can gain knowledge about the traditional foods by listening to others' experience.
My first question that I choose is question number 11, which is, I would like to know your opinion. Do you believe that the traditional food you are mentioned could contribute to strengthen the racial unity, especially at your hometown? The possible answer, the first answer is, everyone from different ethnics will eat that kind of food. From that, we can see the racial unity, especially during ceremony, for example, feast and wedding. The second answer is, when someone eats that food, for example, angguya, which is a traditional food for Bugis ethnic, he or she will tell other people the Bugis traditional food is delicious. And they will try to do it by their own self, or by it even though they are not Bugis. So from that they will unite people from racial unity. Why I choose this question? Because in Malaysia, as we know, racial unity is very strong. So I want to see whether traditional food can contribute to the racial unity or not. second question I choose is the last question, which is question 12. What is your hope for this food for future generation? As we know, nowadays many traditional costume is being forgotten. The possible answer, the number one is, I hope that today's generation, especially kids and adults, can continue this tradition, which is they know how to make the food, so that the food will be passed to the next generation. The answer number two is, I hope everyone can support traditional foods rather than rather than fast food such as KFC, McD, pizza, and many more. If everyone can do this, so the traditional food will become more famous than fast food. Why I choose these questions? It is because I want to see their opinion about how to maintain this traditional food. It is because, as we all know, that traditional food is being forgotten, especially for the kids and adults. Many of them don't know or don't even ever try the food.